Humans are weird. Humans aren't straight linear paths.
I think it was supposed to be like, humans fuck things up.
Yeah, humans fuck things up, and some are good and some are bad, but some are good bad. It's like, what?
I rewatched Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, I watched the whole movie in half an hour, because I fast forward like most things.
Damn. This is Showdown Sunday, and rather than being between two books, it's two girls, one book.
Yeah.
And one of them doesn't like it a lot, and one of them does.
Prepare yourself.
Fight!
So this is the first book we've actually properly disagreed about, I think.
We don't read a lot of the same books.
We
no.
don't read a lot of the same books, but the one book we have read that's the same, we have different opinions on.
The one book. We should
Sure.
read some of the Just Before books, though.
What?
Just Before books.
Yes,
So
I
we
should.
should review them.
We should.
If your mum likes them, maybe you'll like them too.
Detective Friday or something, I don't know. We'll have to create a new genre for it.
What? Detective Friday.
We'll get on to Jasper Ford later. That's probably a later thing we should be talking about. So this is Showdown Friday. Or Showdown Sunday. Whoops. Everything's
Sunday.
Friday in my mind. I'll tell you the experiences we both had before we even read the book. I had heard about it because of the movie that was coming out, which I also saw after reading the book, and that is a very good movie because he also wrote the screenplay, so he made all the changes that go into the film. I heard it was a really good book about grief and coping with death. Now you also had heard of the author beforehand.
I have heard of the author beforehand because when we were in high school, everybody who got the class prize got the same book. The Knife of Letting Go, the first in his, like, of Monsters and Men series, I think. I read that the first chapter, or first few pages, like, at least 10 pages.
You said it was the writing style, right? Or is it just overall?
It was partly the writing style, and I couldn't work out if I just didn't like the character that young, or the way he was writing that point of view, because he made it really, like, simplistic and, like, very short sentences, but also very long run-on sentences, and I get that his style, but I didn't enjoy reading it.
Alrighty, so...
But it had all these awards on it, and I was like, I disagree with all of you.
And the off-screen, Bryony, she has read it, and she has liked his work, correct?
Yes, so she read the whole series of that one.
Yeah. She'll say what she thinks in the comments of this.
We'll say what she thinks, and then she can correct us later.
She can correct us later. I think she liked it, because I liked it a lot. I like that it's simplistic in terms of it seems like a child would think this way. It's actually quite interesting, and he goes more in depth of certain things in the book, but this is actually quite a depressing book. One thing that changed from the movie to the book, or from the book to the movie, is his dad. Do you remember his dad?
Yeah.
His dad is such a douche in this.
Yes, he is.
His son is going through a really hard time with his with his mother having cancer, and the dad's just not there because he has a new baby in America.
Yeah.
And I really like
and
how
it's
they
like,
did that.
I'm gonna prioritize my new family. It's like, you still have a child here.
Did that make you angry?
I mean, it made me angry, but, like, not at the book.
Yeah.
You know, I understood that.
You
it was
understood.
Like a character thing, and it was like...
Yeah, so I really didn't like the dad in the book, and then in the movie, he was actually quite supportive of the family, and that was an interesting change, because the author chose to make it that way.
Maybe it was just, like, too real.
Well, actually, I think it's meant to be fully from the perspective of the kid in this, and
Right.
so we're hearing all these things that the kid knows that the audience can't see in a movie, because you can't do voiceover.
Yes.
So, I think that one is a much more outer view of what's going on. This is a very much a single point view. But I really like it, and I kind of like... The two actually complement each other quite a lot, so I would actually recommend both. Alright!
I don't want to watch the movie.
You don't have to watch the movie.
Thanks.
But you have to tell us what you think.
I don't know. Where do I start? I don't know how... See, it starts off with everybody telling you how creative a book this is.
Don't get into that. Get into the story. What did you think of the main kid?
How old is he supposed to be? I think every kid is 12, so...
Yeah, he's like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
In the movie, I think they made him a little older.
Honestly, I just thought the writing's...
It's the writing style.
Weird.
Yeah, they have shorter sentences, and they don't...
In real waking life, that's one sentence.
Yes.
Not in a dream, but here at his window. Come to get him, but Connor didn't run. Like, it's just... It's very staggered, and I don't get the immersive feeling I want from a book.
Yeah, it's not a flowy book. It's kind of more... I don't want to say, like, poetic. It's intentionally jagged, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with the writing style. I like it. I think I've read a lot of things that are like that where it doesn't want to tell you everything. You have to kind of work out things from the writing. Like, it's very basic writing because there's a lot more going on that you need to work out yourself. That's what I personally think. You don't like it because it seems childish and stupid.
I mean, I don't know what else you could glean from the writing style that isn't already said.
A real monster behind him. It doesn't need to explain what the monster is, where it came from.
But it does.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Kinda. We know the monster's grief.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a book about his mom dying. What do you think's gonna happen?
But I can get that just from the writing, not necessarily from the way he wrote it.
Yeah. You don't... It's interesting you don't like the writing style so much, because I didn't even really notice it. I just kind of cruised through.
It is very different from his other series, though. Because the other series is a lot more
Dystopian,
wordy.
right?
Dystopian, but also a lot wordy in terms of his style. This is first person. First person?
No. Connor's stuff, but it's very first person focused.
Yeah. It's like Harry Potter. It's like third person narrative, but from one perspective.
Yeah, you're not looking at any other universe, or any other perspectives except his. You're with him the whole time. No, it's
Which
very...
also means that you don't
Get
get... Like the movie, you don't get the other bits, like, of information.
Yeah, you have to get all the information from the kid, and the kid might have a warped view. So you have a semi-unreliable narrator, seeing as he knows what the big nightmare is, and he constantly talks about the nightmare, but we don't get to see the nightmare until the end. So the narrator chooses to withhold from us the biggest thing, like the end of the story. He withholds that from us intentionally.
I did like the nightmare
that
sequence.
was
I
dark.
thought that was really well done. As a whole, the book, I didn't like the book. But I mean, I like parts of it.
I think it would be good for a kid who's going through grief, no doubt.
Yes.
I think...
It might be a little bit dark otherwise, so...
Yeah, I think it's probably not a casual read for adults in your case.
No.
If you're more like me, where you're not... I don't notice writing styles much, because I read Stephen King. I'm not into quality writing in the same way. I'm definitely into concept and characters a lot more.
I mean, for me, the writing style is a lot way in how that gets interpreted for me. Like, in terms of conveying it and creating that world that I'm supposed to be in as this character.
Getting you immersed.
Yeah.
No.
I miss that feeling, like, when you read a book and then the world drops away.
I can see why you couldn't get into it, because I think a good way to describe the writing from your perspective, it's stale.
Yeah, that's actually probably a good way, though.
It's not just short and abrupt, it's stale from your perspective. But I like that because I think the whole world is cold. He's trying to keep us detached because this kid is trying to be detached. So that's what I would interpret it as, but if you're just reading it and...
I mean, I also thought he was a bit of a dick.
Yeah. True, the kid is...
The kid is a little bit of a jerk.
He is bullied, though. Those
he has been bullied.
That bully was a very intelligent bully.
He was. Right, he knew exactly what he was doing.
He
and
knew
he knew how to do the system.
I know. It's not physical bullying that will destroy you. It's mental. Damn, son, you're evil. So.
But also the way he treats his grandmother.
Oh, yeah, how he's so angry at her, yeah.
Yeah, and like...
She is quite pompous, in fairness.
She is, but I'm wondering if that's his jadedness against her. If we saw it from a more outer, more reliable narrative, maybe she doesn't actually seem that way.
She seems kind of, like, stuck up in the movie, but the most powerful scene, I would say, I don't want to spoil too much, he destroys a lot of things in her house.
Yes.
And when she gets home, we both have the perspective just like he does, like, oh, she's gonna be so mad. She is not mad at him. And that is quite powerful. It reveals that she's actually going through a lot of the same things he is. And I think you get more of a sense of that in the movie. Of like how much this is affecting the rest of the family with the mother being ill. You didn't like it.
No.
Well, I think you should watch the movie because it's not the same style. It's not jagged writing. It is a flowing story. And I actually really like the little stories within it as well. And they do that really interesting. They animate them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. The monster, who we haven't even talked about because it doesn't...
We can't spoil everything about the book.
Look, the monster isn't actually a central, important part of the story in the same way. He's there, he comes, but this is definitely about the kid and a journey through grief. The monster, he tells 3 stories that they're going to help the kid along in the end. Yeah. I found them a little convoluted, but they are very beautiful in the film. All of them had twist endings, it was pretty funny, but yeah, it was an interesting book overall. I found because I haven't read a lot of children's books. I never read books as a child, so... But you have read a lot of books, and you know what you like.
Yeah. I mean, I've read a lot that I've liked when I read them, and then I go back and I'm like, they're alright.
They're alright.
It's like when, like, you watch a movie again, and it was like a romantic comedy, you were like, this is great, this is the greatest love story ever. And then you go back, and it's like, this is really boring.
This is really boring. Final thoughts. If we were both kids at the age of 10, maybe not having dead parents, but like just a kid reading a kid's book, what would you think?
I think I'd be really sad.
You think you'd be sad?
I think I'd be really sad. And then I'd be like, what if my dad has cancer? Or like, what if my mom has... Like, I was that kind of child who was like, what if...
Do you think you would have noticed the writing style the same way?
It would have been the first book that was jagged.
Yeah, so
a lot of children's book actually isn't jagged.
Yeah.
So I would have noticed it, and I kind of read everything, so I don't know if I would have, like...
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have bothered me.
Yeah. Now that you have an idea of what writing should be like and how it should flow, you have a much more critical opinion of how it's written.
I think the problem is I read a lot of fantasy, and I'm just like, I need the immersive quality of it. I also feel like it's not a book you read, like...
For kids?
Just 'cause. You know what I mean? Like...
I read it just 'cause the movie was coming out. If I was a kid and I read this, I would also be like, oh, that was sad. I'd probably be like, this is the best book I ever read as a kid, because it would have such a like emotional impact, because I didn't read a lot. But a book about like death, I would be like, wow, guys, this is really deep. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I wouldn't be like, this is really deep. But I'm like, yeah, it's good. I think we both agree, if you're a kid, this will hit a lot harder.
It will, yeah, definitely hit a lot harder.
It will fuck you up, actually.
It will.
Because they're...
Highly not recommend for that.
Not for
There's an age restriction on this.
I know, it's like, maybe, I think tweens up.
Yeah.
This is
Don't
not...
read it if you're younger than 10.
It's not something to read to the kids, it's quite dark.
Yeah.
But I personally
There's an interesting perspective, like, because we were saying that it could be helpful to read if you were going through that similar thing. But if you're younger and you're still going through that similar thing, should you still read it?
I think it replicates the rage you go through pretty well. If the kid is already quite dark as a human being, like, if the kid doesn't really have any innocence left, maybe.
I mean, I guess if your parents going through that, you may not have any.
If you have a kid that's in denial about the parents' death, don't give them this book. Start them on something lighter. If the kid is
like the picture books.
Yeah, like the picture books about death.
Yeah,
those are much better. If your kid has kind of accepted that you're going to die, they can read this. That would be what I say, because this is not for people who are in denial of death. Even though it's about his denial of death, it's not for people who are in denial of death. I'm going to say it's a good book. You're going to say interesting concept. Is that correct?
Yeah. Patrick Ness wrote this with the outline and everything from Siobhan Dowd?
Yeah.
Siobhan Dowd, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of her books.
Neither
and
have
I wonder if I would have liked it better if she had written it.
We'd have to figure out what her style is.
I understand that she purposely picked Patrick Ness to write it for her, because she passed away before she could. And I understand that, but I'm wondering if I would have liked it better if she had written it.
Yeah, we'd have to learn more about what her writing style is. One of us should try and read her book, and then we can come back to this and figure out if she would have been the perfect writer for this.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if she would have written it in the same kind of style.
Yes.
Not stale way, because I guess you would have probably... You want to imitate that feeling of staleness.
Yeah,
but maybe
disassociation,
in the jagged way as well.
Yeah, it was the jaggedness and the disassociation that hit you. I think it's like there's
been
no
fine.
Engagement.
Yeah, I think I needed an engagement. I think I would have been fine if I liked the character, because I really hated Connor.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, but he was kind of like a dick to everybody else. And I was
True.
Like...
Alright, so the video cut out because we've gone for too long.
Yes.
So we're going to give our final thoughts very quickly. I liked it, and I did not mind the writing style.
I hated the writing style. I like kind of the really broad concept of the idea, and we will see if I like the original author who came up with the idea, her writing style better, and if maybe she would have done a better job. And then
Saba and Zebba. Whatever.
Yeah.
Dowd. Sylvan Dowd, or whatever, however you say her name. This is our first rival Showdown Sunday. Hopefully we'll do more of these, but then we'd have to read more of the same books.
We can try, just before Nets.
And Bryony, what did you think? You can sign us off, Bryony.
It's interesting that the dad didn't care so much for it.
I know.
Because, like, for me, even if it's, like, your ex-wife or whatever, and, you know, you guys didn't work out, That is still somebody you were once in love with.
Yeah.